What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis, including money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus check update, and stimulus package update. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so. This way you won't miss out on new videos that come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Social Security has potentially two massive raises coming out here in this video. I'll be discussing here the details, and you'll hear an actual interview here of one of them. And I'll show you details here on the screen. And we have a lot of states here that are sending out state stimulus checks. And hopefully the federal government here will be talking about a lot of those details here in this video. As inflation is at a 40-year high, the May inflation numbers have just come out, and it is at 8.6%, the highest of the year and the highest since 1981. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, and a lot of people, pretty much everybody here on fixed income, in retirement, and low income is saying, how are we going to survive right now? Yeah. Yeah, and you could see here this new bill that was just introduced could increase Social Security benefits by $2,400 a year. And another provision in this bill would raise Social Security benefits in addition to 125% of the federal poverty level, which is $1,415 per month. I have another video where I have Senator Bernie Sanders, who has just introduced this bill along with a host of other senators and congressmen from the House of Representatives who back this bill. It has just been introduced here within hours ago, like 48 hours ago or so, and are co-sponsoring this bill. And has actually taken several key ideas that President Biden campaigned on, and have actually kind of put it in this bill. So now they need to kind of shore up enough votes to pass it. So yeah, you can actually hear in this video Senator Bernie Sanders talking. It's directly, him, and I'll link you to that video here at the end of this video. Very, very good video. You can hear it directly from him with a lot of the details from that video. Yeah, and you can see here, Social Security provides monthly benefits to over 60 million people now at this point, retired seniors, many of who don't have other income sources at their disposal. But even so, those benefits fall short in allowing seniors to cover their essential living costs in full. Now, to be fair, Social Security was never supposed to sustain seniors in absence of other income. But the reality is in that many of today's retirees didn't manage to save for their later years on their own and don't have generous company pensions to fall back on. And this is one of the main problems here today. Over 50% of retirees have no savings at all and rely entirely on Social Security. Bernie Sanders mentions this in this speech that I'll link you to in this other video here at the end of this video. This is part of the reason why they want to raise Social Security benefits to help people just survive in their retirement. This is part of the reason why they want to raise Social Security benefits by $2,400 per year. The other raise that could or will be coming very soon is a very large cost of living adjustment raise because of inflation. Take a listen to this.
Rising inflation has sent the cost of living to record highs and is having an impact on everyone from millionaires to retirees. So as a result, Social Security beneficiaries will receive a boost to their monthly checks. But will it be enough? That's a big question. Yahoo Finance senior columnist Carrie Hannon joins us now with that. And Carrie, how big of a boost are we expecting?
Well, I'm telling you, we're not going to really know until October. but the numbers that are being tossed around is around 8%, or even 8.6% is one estimate of what is likely based on inflation. Now, they compute it all running up till October to see how the inflation is running. But here's what happened. I mean, last week, the Social Security Administration came out with their trustees report, which they estimated that they would perhaps increase the cost of living for Social Security beneficiaries by 3.8% for next year. But it looks like, even walking back, one of the high administration officials who talked about it afterwards said, you know what, we did those numbers in mid-February, and it actually looks like we may be much closer to 8%. So I'm seeing somewhere in that range.
Carrie, what does this do for the program's funding? Because you would think that that would be in question here if we do see such a big hike.
You know, that's a really good question. And the people I talked to said, actually, it really depends on how long inflation lasts for, right? So the way they're looking now is it's not long run, and they don't see it really having a heavy impact at the moment on the solvency of the fund in the future and so forth, and the financial viability of it. But what is important to note is, even with an 8%, even if it was that 8%, I keep saying it wrong, sorry, 8.6% increase per month. What would happen is, many people say that's not even keeping pace with inflation. There would still be a shortfall for retirees, and that benefits from, if you went back to 2020, that the cost of what you could buy with your check has dropped by 40%. So it is pretty significant. And really, the retirees are getting hit the hardest by this, or folks that haven't saved for retirement, that they depend on that check for 90% or so of their, daily living costs, for their monthly costs. This is a significant amount of money for them. And if you live in rural America and you're depending on a car, the cost of gasoline, as we all know, has just skyrocketed. And that's really taking a hard hit. And again, this year, of course, we had a bump up this year of 5.9% in the benefit to kind of address these inflationary issues. It just wasn't enough. But in that calculation, it was the Medicare jump up in the cost of Medicare B that really prompted some of that increase right there. But just simply the cost of living is really, really a hardship for many, many people.
Yeah, so let me know your thoughts here on this raise and inflation. I know it's it's out of control. And the last raise, which was really large, 5.9%, was the largest in over 30 years. Really doesn't seem that large anymore now that inflation is much larger than 5.9%. Now that we're at 8.6%, I mean, that's almost 50% higher, 8.6% versus 5.9%. So, yeah. In stimulus news right now, we have a lot of states stepping up saying, hey, we have a lot of money and we want to distribute it back to our residents here. How should we do it? And one of the latest states here saying this here, well, we got a lot of states doing this here. Check this out. The state of Virginia. Virginians could receive up to $500 in tax rebates under their new budgets. And it really seems like one by one here, more and more states are like, hey, let's follow the lead here. Let's follow the path of all these states giving money back, reducing taxes, tax cuts, tax rebates, which are basically checks, and let's find ways to give money back to the people, whether it's reducing taxes, giving checks back, um, cutting gas taxes, uh, grocery taxes, all sorts of different ways to give money back to the people. One way or another, seems like all the states are doing something here. I'm trying to cover as many states as I can as I just find the news about it. Here's kind of one of the most recent things. Check this out. Virginia taxpayers could be eligible for tax rebate checks of up to $500 under the new state budget passed by the General Assembly. The compromise budget that state lawmakers approved at the beginning of June includes direct tax relief authorizing rebate checks of up to $250 per single filer and $500 per married couple. Yeah, slightly lower than what Republicans first proposed. But the nice thing about this is that um, it seems like Republicans and Democrats both want it. So that's a good sign. That's a good sign. Quote, I believe we were able to build a budget that we can be proud of that encompasses state spending priorities and additional tax policy relief while upholding our tradition of strong fiscal management. It also includes a standard deduction increase for single filers from $4,500 to $8,000. It would raise the standard deduction from $9,000 to $16,000. The budget, once finalized, will take effect on July 1st. The state of Tennessee has tax breaks totaling $280 million, but they wonder if a lot more can be done. You can see here Tennessee lawmakers approved $280 million worth of tax reductions for the fiscal 2022-2023 year, including a license plate break and grocery sales tax cut for August, complemented by the annual sales tax holiday. But considering the state's budget size of $52.8 billion for the state, that's a large amount. And revenue for this budget year continues to soar past production. Like I said, pretty much almost every state is exceeding budget's revenues. Their budget surplus is, as you can see here, soaring past projections. Some questions exist whether the state went far enough in returning money to taxpayers. The state has $2.7 billion in surpluses to work with as it prepares for the next fiscal year. This April alone, state revenues hit $3 billion, exceeding budget estimates by $915 million in the month of April alone. So when I say these states are running a budget surplus and revenues are going up, each state and the federal government, when President Biden says they're going to be able to pay down the deficit by 1.5 to 1.7 trillion, each state's doing this, the federal government's doing this. This is because unemployment is now low, more people are back to work, and revenues are up. Sales tax is up, tax revenues are up, the IRS tax revenues is up, state tax revenues are up, and money is flowing. So we think about when the pandemic first hit, business went down, the country shut down back in 2020, and that's when inflation went really low. And now that people are going back to work, um, unemployment has gone down dramatically. Remember, this is kind of the inflationary cycle. Okay, if you look back on recessions, and again, I'm not really giving credit to Biden here because this is kind of normal here. I know he's going to try to take a lot of credit for everybody going back to work. But I also didn't really give him blame for a lot of the inflation. So a lot of this stuff is normal in the recessionary cycle. Okay. Just like I really don't blame him. Sure, some of the inflation's his fault for sure, but you really can't give him all the credit for the job gains as well. Okay. Um, it's just if you look back on recessionary cycles, a lot of this stuff is kind of normal. Okay, I know none of this seems normal. Inflation is higher than normal here during this cycle, but remember back in 1981, this happened, and we've seen inflation get this high before. And when we go back to other recessions, even the 2008 recession, inflation got high as well. Not quite this high, but we have seen inflation get high many times when you come out of a recession. It's extraordinary high this time, a couple percent higher than normal. But when you have a recession, inflation goes down to zero, close to zero. Sometimes it goes negative. Okay. And when you come out of a recession, inflation heats up hot. Okay. This time around, we have the war, we have the supply chain issues, we have the pandemic, and all of those are kind of adding to the inflation issues as well. And all those have kind of exacerbated it a little bit as well. I know that, some people blame the president as well, and you may be rightfully so there as well. Yeah, I'm not going to really jump into that argument. It's totally up to you, whatever you believe. But if you look back on recessions, this happens over and over again during recessions. Okay. But the question is that how long will this last? How do we get out of it? The Fed's raising interest rates. Countries all around the world are raising interest rates as well. Remember that inflation all around the world as well, in countries all around the world have inflation pretty much at the exact same or somewhere around the exact same rates. And that's why when you especially when you have like Republicans say, "Oh, it's all Biden's fault" or something like that. Well, when you see inflation in countries all around the world, like the United Kingdom or Mexico or Europe, and they're all dealing with inflation pretty much, around the same rates or exact same rates and stuff. You kind of got to be like, well, Biden's the US president. They all have their own presidents as well. Gas prices, actually, if you've watched my channel, gas prices, in Canada are higher, gas prices in Australia are higher, gas prices in Hong Kong are higher, gas prices in Europe are way higher. I mean, gas prices over there are like $8, $9 a gallon in US dollars. If you equate it to US dollars and you equate it to US gallons and US dollars, they're paying $8, $9 a gallon, where our average is, well, now it's around $5, which is still extremely high, but they're paying $8 here or a little bit more. So it's still 50% more. So again, you just kind of got to look that you got to say this is happening everywhere. So we're kind of in a global economy now, and things are happening pretty much kind of the same everywhere in the world. And you think of the pandemic, you think of the virus, it pretty much happened everywhere in the world. Of course, note my sarcasm here, except China. China says they had almost no cases, right? And almost no deaths. I note my sarcasm. Sometimes I have to say that because some people don't catch on my sarcasm. When you look at the deaths count and the cases count, China has about 4 times our population, but when you look at the cases count and the deaths count, they're like 100th on the list. They have like the smallest amount of cases and deaths, and it's like, how is that even possible? That's where that's where it originated from. And it's like, well, it doesn't even, they have the most population. It's like, how does it even make sense, right? All right. Well, okay. But, hopefully we see some of this stuff come down. Hopefully we see these raises for Social Security and fixed income. I'll link you to those videos I just did here next. I just did another really big video here on stimulus checks here as well. So if you haven't subscribed here yet to my YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so. It's one of the few things that are free left here in our country, or anywhere for that matter. So if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below, then click the bell icon so you get notifications when we go live here with new videos, which is every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Here is that video with Senator Bernie Sanders announcing the new Social Security $2,400 raise. And here is my newest video on stimulus checks here. Really good video there. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.